Hey guys, what's up? It's Duncan here, KH fan. Bringing you for sorry about not bringing an album review in the last couple weeks or so. Kind of was busy with stuff, whatnot. I'm preparing a trip for Ohio. I'm going to Rock on the Range. So anybody from Ohio watching this, I'll see you there. So I'm bringing you an album review of the new Dragonforce album entitled "The Power Within." Now, this is their first album in 4 years, plus their first album with their new vocalist, Mark Hudson. And might I say that this was a really good move on their part, because this guy he's got an incredible vocal range. I'm not gonna lie. In my opinion, he's way better than ZP. Excuse me. But yeah. This album clocks in at an hour, I would say. Yeah, it's about an hour long. And this Dragonforce album, to me, sounds a little bit different from the others. I mean, not all the songs are going to be extremely fast. There's probably at least 3 or 4 songs that are actually, like, really fast Dragonforce songs, like the typical ones you know of. But there are some standout tracks on this that sound a little bit different. Like, for instance, the song "Cry Thunder," which is one of the first songs everybody heard from the new album. It has to me it has like a little bit of a folk metal vibe to it. So that's a bit different for Dragonforce. I mean, it still has the Dragonforce sound. And if you aren't familiar with Dragonforce, you probably never played Guitar Hero. But I'm not going to try to sound like a hipster, but I actually knew of Dragonforce like way before they were ever on that game. Because I think "Through the Fire and Flames" is an overrated as hell song. They have much better songs. But yeah, on other standout tracks for me would have to be "Seasons," which is like one of the more mellow songs. It's like it's a pretty slow song for Dragonforce, especially. I mean, there's only on this album really. There's only like one song that's actually 7 minutes long. The rest are like 5 minutes or shorter. Another standout track would have to be "Die by the Sword" and "Last Man Stands." That has like an 80s metal vibe to me on that song. And then the bonus tracks on this album, there's an acoustic version of the song "Seasons," which I think is actually better than the original. To be honest, I mean, Dragonforce is trying some different shit on this album, and it's quite awesome. And then the last bonus track, well, there's a couple bonus tracks. There's like a live version of "Cry Thunder," and there's like an alternate version of "Heart of the Storm," which doesn't seem that much different, obviously. And then the last song is like 2 minutes long. It's a 2-minute instrumental to close off the album, which is called "Avant le Tempête." I can't speak French, so forgive me on my pronunciations when it comes to speaking French. So yeah, and the guitars, your typical Dragonforce guitars with Herman Lee and Sam Totman with their normal shred stuff. The bass is actually pretty damn audible on this album. Like, it actually sticks out on a couple tracks. Like, I think "Give Me the Night's" one of them. There's a little mini bass solo for like a few seconds. It's pretty neat how they stuck that in there. The drums are, I mean, they're pretty damn well mixed on this album. They're not clicky like in past like in Inhuman Rampage, I would say. Still fast, still tight as hell. Dave McIntosh is fantastic. Keyboards I really didn't hear much of on this album, for me at least. And then the vocals were probably the biggest thing I've noticed on this album, obviously, because it was a different singer for one, and he was, in my opinion, way better than ZP. So if I were to give this album a score, I'd probably give this a light 7 out of 10. It was a pretty decent album for Dragonforce. I mean, it was a good return to form. Hopefully they can release stuff that's better. I mean, they sound more like a power metal band with this album than they have in previous releases. So that's all I got to say about this one. So glad I got this album review out of the way. It's been a month. It's been a month worth waiting for, I guess, because it's been almost a month since this album came out. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about this album. So, I will see you guys later. Keep it metal. Subscribe if you haven't already.